All right. Here we go. What day is it, B? Oh, it's Tuesday. Welcome in on a Tuesday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes at your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. I'm Matt. Beaver's here. Wearing Seattle Seahawks colors. Uh-huh. Beav. Mr. 49ers, Mr. NFC West hated rival of your 49ers. You have walked up in here today and didn't even know that I noticed. Seahawks blue with the trim that is the Seahawks green. What is that? Is it green? Look at you. How you doing?
I'm all right. That had not even dawned on me, by the way, that I was wearing those colors today.
Yeah.
It's fine. I was pulling for the Seahawks Sunday. Got to find some sort of rooting interest in Super Bowls that you don't care about.
Did you think that Drake May's throwing shoulder that had been injured was an issue in the game?
I don't want to blame it on that because he's been pretty much mediocre throughout the entire playoffs.
Okay. Yeah. And we had the excuse of the snow in the Denver game, right? Maybe that wasn't the snow. Well, I felt like what I was watching was a guy who was fighting something going on in that shoulder. And I know, look, the way that Seattle was getting after him, even really good quarterbacks would lose some accuracy and make some bad throws because they were getting after him. But then he had some of these others where inexplicably he'd be off by a yard. And instead of hitting a guy chest high, he's throwing it at his knee, wide right and wide left, all these short there. And it was like, I'm watching it going, no, he's playing through it. They know it. He's hurt. That's the way it looked to me.
And it had to be something because, like I said, slightly above mediocre for the playoffs. But the 17 games before that, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wouldn't discount that at all.
We have a 49ers story in the headlines coming up shortly. If you're just tuning in, that's coming up. And you can be a part of the show. Tune in comment in however you want in several different ways. You can text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. Text away and call me. That way I get to hear your voice. Yes, I'm at the home Farm Bureau Insurance Studio in the Metro, sitting right across from Beeve. That's why I knew what color shirt he had on. And so you can get on in here on the phone. The number to call is 897-1059. 601 number, 897-1059. Love to hear you. And hey to everybody on the live stream. I know you can't see the live video, but you have live audio. This is live. It's happening right now as we speak. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube or X, just pop a comment in there, and I'll be able to see it, and we'll pop it up on the screen so that everyone else can see it. And that'll get you on in here. Somebody texted in on the Country Pleasing text line and said, I think he injured his shoulder again on the swipe to his arm on a blitz. And maybe so. Definitely could have been. Definitely could have been. Yeah, and Sven, we're going to get into that too in a headline. I tell you what. So here we go. I've touched on it twice. Headlines. Let me give you some sports headlines for today, February the 10th, in the year of our Lord, 2026. Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage related, that's where you want to go. I'll start off with your 49ers story, Beaver. Headline number 1, we go to Santa Clara, California. San Francisco 49ers defensive lineman Keion White was the victim of a shooting in San Francisco early yesterday morning, sustaining a bullet wound to his ankle. Underwent successful surgery yesterday afternoon, according to the team. Injuries are not considered to be career-threatening. The Niners are going to provide further updates when appropriate. Police in San Francisco say they responded to a shooting at a business on the 1700 block of Mission Street around 4 a.m., found a victim with an apparent gunshot wound. Responding officers provided aid, called paramedics, said the victim was taken to the hospital. He's going to be all right. Shot in the ankle, 4 a.m. on a Monday morning. Thank goodness it was not worse. Then we have this from the NFL. We're what, 2 days into the offseason? And this is the kind of stuff we've got. Atlanta Falcons rookie, have you seen this story? Atlanta Falcons rookie James Pierce Jr. allegedly crashed his vehicle into one being driven by WNBA player Rickea Jackson multiple times and struck a police officer with the vehicle while evading arrest. If that name Rickea Jackson from the WNBA sounds familiar, it's because she used to play at Mississippi State. Was recruited there by Vic Schaefer. He left. Then she left and went to, I think, Tennessee. So she went from State to Tennessee, and now she's in the WNBA. I read some of the details on this, Beav, and he was bothering her. She said it's over. He won't leave her alone. She blocks his number so that she can't get any calls or texts from him and see it. Right? So one day she's sitting at a red light, or this particular day she's sitting at the red light, looks in the rearview mirror. He's sitting right behind her in his car. Gets out, comes up to the car to try to open the door. She takes off, driving to the police station. He follows her. Whole thing like in and around the police station. He rams her car, rams the police car, gets out, runs away.
Psychopath.
Psychopath, babe. Here's my question, and it you shudder to even bring it up. Okay, but what are somebody's intentions, Beaver? When they are following you, unbeknownst to you, they're following you. At a red light, they get out and come to your car and try to open your car door. What are their intentions? I mean, it could have been really bad. All right. Then there's this. We have college headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group. Beaver, sanity has been restored, at least for a few hours. Charles Bediaco's college basketball career is over again. An Alabama circuit judge denied his motion for a preliminary injunction yesterday, and it ended the 7-foot center's season with the Crimson Tide. Tuscaloosa County Circuit Judge Daniel F. Pruitt halted Bediaco's bid to regain eligibility after he left Alabama for the NBA draft back in 2023, signed a 2-way NBA contract, played the past 3 seasons in the G League. Moved to disqualify him from collegiate competition. So that happened, which it should have. And then this, Sven, thank you very much. Mississippi State Baseball announces its pitching rotation for the season opening series this weekend as they host Hofstra beginning as for now, Friday at 4 p.m. is the season opener. Now, weather could change things. We'll see. But your Friday starter for the Diamond Dogs, Ryan McPherson, hard-throwing righty. And then Charlie Foster, game 2, the lefty. And then another lefty, Thomas Valencius, your Sunday starter. So righty, lefty rotation. State put it out there on social media. And there is your pitching rotation. And those are your headlines. Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank, right here in Mississippi. Sven, I'll get to your comments coming up next. If you're listening on the live stream on YouTube or Facebook or X, it's live. You can comment. I can see them. We'll pop them up on the screen. We'll come to those. Coming to your text messages also. Unnamed, More Bully, Nick, everybody else on the Country Pleasing text lines. We get started on this Tuesday. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. Back after this.
We'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia Blend. High Point Roasters coffee, New Albany, Mississippi. It is the best.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Regarding the story about the 49ers player getting shot in the ankle yesterday morning in San Francisco, more bully texted in and said, in the ankle? That dude can't aim. Yeah, if you get shot in the ankle, it's either one, an accident, or two, right, very poor aim. Or maybe three, somebody was just trying to injure you and not really actually kill you. I don't know. Nick texted the show and said, I thought she was a WWE wrestler now. That's somebody else, right? That's, okay, you might have to look it up and see. This story said WNBA player Rakia Jackson. You're thinking, and Rakia Jackson did play at State, but then transferred out of there, and I think she went to Tennessee. You are thinking of, hold on, I'm going to tell you. Oh, what's her name?
I know her wrestling name is Lash Legend. I don't know the real name, so just Google that.
Okay. Lash.
Because I just learned like a month ago
Howard.
she played at Mississippi State. State grad 98 told me.
Anriel Howard. Anriel Howard. I remember when she was playing at State. I do. Yeah. So, like, she's big time now, isn't she?
Yeah.
Isn't that something? I wonder where she's from originally. Is she from Mississippi originally, or is she from, like, Tennessee? I want to find out here. Let's see. She's 28 years old. Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia. Went to Westlake High School in Atlanta. How about that? And I think Anriel Howard began her career at Texas A&M, transferred to Mississippi State, played there, and now she's super duper wrestler. So that's who you're thinking about. Rakia Jackson is a basketball player. MSU 1980 texted the show, said, Matt, happy Tuesday. I only just realized I was texting you at the wrong number for about 3 months. Well, glad you're back. He says, now I know why I never heard any of my texts. My bad. I looked at State's softball schedule, saw that every conference game is against a ranked team. Yeah, it's what? Hands down, the best softball conference. On the live stream, Sven commented, he's talking baseball pitching for Mississippi State. He said, Hail State, McPherson is named starting pitcher for your Mississippi State Diamond Dogs Friday afternoon. Yeah, right-hander. Yep, Friday night guy. They got a deep pitching staff for sure. I mean, they expect to be good. Should be. They're very talented. I wondered this. I don't know. I'm an early riser, so I can't judge. But Sven did ask, what is a professional football player doing on the streets at 4 a.m. on a Monday, getting shot in the ankle? What's he doing there? You have to ask that question. He was telling me, too, that this Falcons player is going to serve 20 years in jail. And I guess that would be because, you ran into a police car and then you evaded arrest. Here's the thing. He's an NFL football player, like a skill player. How'd they catch him on foot? That's really impressive to me. I'm not making fun of that either. Hey to G Bama boy, who's in here. Let's see. Sven says, by the way, Ole Miss is the only team that returns 3 players with 20-plus home runs last season. He said, I don't like that. We need 4 guys this year with 20. What? Yeah, it is. a fair point that for all the teams they're talking about in college baseball, I mean, Ole Miss returns some. Nobody's talking about them. Everybody's talking about LSU and State and others, but nobody's really, and Georgia, and nobody's really talking about Ole Miss. And watch them slip up and beat everybody this year. We'll see. Bama Boy disagrees. He says that Pierce won't do any jail time. He says probation, probably restraining order, and a huge fine. Regarding Keion White, the defensive tackle who was shot in the ankle in San Francisco yesterday. He's a 49ers player. JS290 says that Keion White was coached by David Turner at Georgia Tech. Big fast guy. It is true. Right. What is it about the 49ers? Bama Boy said it's the second guy to get shot in the last 2 years with the 49ers. Right? The other one was in the offseason, the receiver got shot in the stomach. What was his name? Pearsall? Ricky Pearsall. And he came back and played, right? Gene says, who will call the games when Neil's handling the basketball games on the radio? Well, I know last year Caleb Hamill filled in and did a really nice job calling baseball when there was an overlap with basketball. So maybe he'll do it. I don't know that at all, but maybe he will. Speaking of Rakia Jackson, Lewis commented on YouTube and said he watched Rakia Jackson play in that women's pro 3-on-3 league the other night. Said I forgot the team or where they played. I didn't know that was such a thing. Wait a minute. You're saying an active WNBA player is also playing in a pro 3-on-3 league? I had no earthly idea. Okay, confirmation. To answer your question, Gene, on Facebook, on the live stream, it will be Caleb Hamill, again, back for year 2, calling some Mississippi State baseball games. Yeah, he did a great job last year. I got to hear some of that, and he's really good at it and has worked his way up. And I guess so Saturday, and I have, okay, and I'm just to be honest with you, it kind of shows you where my head has been as far as the sports and the whole sports hierarchy. I can tell you the baseball schedule, but right now off the top of my head, not really sure who's playing who in basketball on Saturday, even though we're mid to late February. So that will be who? I got it right. Well, it'll be Saturday. They're at Ole Miss. Okay, so tomorrow night, State's going to host Tennessee. They're in the hump. And then this Saturday at 5:30, Ole Miss hosting State at the Pavilion in Oxford, which I'll say it again, it is some more fine basketball facility. Now, if you've not been to a game at the Pavilion, you really need to go see it. It is nice. But anyway, so 5:30, and it's curious because I wonder what weather's going to do. I looked at it yesterday, and at least as of yesterday, there was less of a chance of rain and interrupting your baseball series and start on Friday, and it showed more of a chance of rain as the day went on Saturday. And then again, yesterday said that the Sunday rain was going to get out of there by about noon. And so I wonder what that'll do to the schedule and how they'll do the games. I did see, where some were throwing around the idea that they might want to go ahead and play 2 on Friday. I believe we just read a couple of months ago the story that said there's going to be no more 7-inning doubleheader stuff in the SEC. They're going to play 9 innings. So if you do that, you're going to have a whole lot of baseball going on if they decide to try to do 2 on Friday. But they just might do it. It has to be because of your connection to the meteorology school and department at State, but I have always been really impressed with how state baseball in particular gets a hold of such accurate weather information and making game decisions and when to throw out first pitch. They generally nail it. All right. Just getting started, rolling along with you here on this Tuesday. More texts coming in on the Country Pleasing text line. We'll get to those. Your comments, Hail State fan, Old Tackles fan, Lewis, others on the live stream, coming to those. And we'll take your phone calls today, too. Let me hear your voice. Wide open on the Junction phone line. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Don't go anywhere. Rolling along in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Back after this.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mississippi State Bulldog. I know a thing or two about the value of a strong team. Farm Bureau works hard to get me through thick and thin. They've got exceptional customer service and competitive insurance rates that keep me protected. If you aren't already on the team, it's time to join Farm Bureau. Visit favrates.com for great rates on home and auto insurance, or find a local agent at msfbins.com. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
If you've ever wanted to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself, and didn't know where to start, 𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐽 Gulf Coast has already built a foundation for you. With guaranteed initial customers, hands-on training, and ongoing local support, you'll never feel like you're doing it alone, because you won't be. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn their dreams into real successful businesses. Take the next step. Discover a business built for you at 𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐽.com.
At Clinton Body Shop, their primary focus is to simply do everything possible to return the vehicles they repair back to their original condition. You can't do this with aftermarket parts that aren't up to standards that the original manufacturer intended. Both of their body shops in Clinton and in Richland have been certified by the manufacturer that actually made your car, as Clinton Body Shop is OEM certified. That's original equipment manufactured parts. Head over to ClintonBodyShop.com to see their certification page so you can be rest assured that with a Clinton Body Shop repair, your vehicle will be returned back to its original condition. They want all customers to know the truth, because no matter what anyone, including the insurer, tells you, you have the right to choose where you get your repair. Don't let your repair become your second accident. When you exercise your right and insist on a Clinton repair, you'll know it's right. Learn more today at ClintonBodyShop.com or call 601-924-2159 to begin the conversation. Choose the company in Central Mississippi that has taken care of Mississippians and their vehicles for decades. That's Clinton Body Shop in Clinton and in Richland. Hey, if you're looking to move a new home or purchase a new home in 2026, you picked a good time to do it. With interest rates dropping and things settling out, it's also a great time to pick the right agent to help you do that. That's why you need to choose Ashley Howie with 𝐷𝐼 Realtors. For a decade plus, Ashley has helped numerous clients find the dream home they need. Be it buying, selling, relocating, or even land acquisition, Ashley can help. Find her on Facebook.com/Ashley Howie Realtor, or call or text today at 769-226-3782. Get the process started this year with Ashley Howie and 𝐷𝐼 Realtors. Valentine's Day is just around the corner and you want to score big. Nandy's Candy offers handmade edible chocolate baskets filled with a dozen chocolate-dipped strawberries and chocolate-dipped strawberries by the pound. Win this Valentine's Day by placing an order with Nandy's Candy. They have it all from assorted chocolates, jelly belly beans, caramel pecan treats, fudge, handcrafted truffles, and even sugar-free. Don't forget their famous chocolate-dipped strawberries in milk, white, and dark chocolate. Place an order now with Nandy's Candy.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton. We say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt Radio Show out of my home.
Back with you. So, a lot of people in the college sports world are talking about this ruling from the Alabama Circuit Judge that denied another motion for another preliminary injunction for Charles Bediako so he could continue to play basketball for the University of Alabama. And, there's a couple of things that are interesting about it for me. Is you had the judge that initially gave the restraining order deal that put all this in motion and put him on Alabama's team, allowed him to be on Alabama's team. And much publicized, that particular judge in Tuscaloosa is a big donor to the university. And it was reported by some that he's married to a woman who's an attorney who's also representing one of those former Alabama players in the murder case from a couple of years ago. Also, while Nate Oates was a coach. So there was all this conflict of interest, right? Well, the NCAA then files and says, hey, this judge has got to recuse himself because of all this conflict of interest. And they win that. He did have to because he did need to recuse himself. So now it's a different judge in Tuscaloosa County, and this one goes, no, I'm not doing it. He's looking at it for facts. And so he didn't give them what they wanted. I didn't realize the guy's 7 feet tall. Anyway, whatever. Tuscaloosa County Circuit Court Judge Daniel F. Pruitt halted Charles Bediako's bid to regain eligibility after, again, much publicized, he left Alabama for the NBA draft back in 2023. Stayed in the draft, got drafted, signed a two-way contract with the NBA, played the past 3 years in the G League, and then all this deal put in motion for him to come back. And it's not happening. Pruitt ruled that Bediako did not have a, quote, reasonable expectation that he'd be allowed to return to the college basketball world when no other player had been granted eligibility under the same circumstances. Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, said, quote, the court upheld the rules of our members. Common sense, he said, won around today. He did admit that it doesn't solve a lot of the other problems, but they won around. All right, so here's the thing. You've got a lot of people commenting on this stuff. To me, again, I think it would be mean-spirited to see some of the comments of people who disagree with the decision and all that and just say that they're dumb or they're idiots or they all got bad morals or whatever. That'd be mean-spirited. So instead of looking at it that way, you can say that there are some people who will comment on this stuff and you go, how can you think that way? Why? What in your brain is clicking in the way that it clicks for you to think that way? Let me give you a couple of examples. Now, again, this is a nice guy. He's an attorney at Kenny Hertz Perry LLC. He's a college athletics attorney, does NIL stuff, business litigation. He's a former basketball player at somewhere, William and Mary, maybe. His name is Mitt Winter. He posed the question today on social media. He said, what's the difference between A, someone who has been a pro for multiple years and then plays college basketball, and B, someone who plays college, plays pro, and then plays college? You see what I'm saying? He's saying, what's the difference between, say, a European pro coming in to play college ball versus a guy like Bediako who starts in college, then goes pro, then comes back to college? He said, what's the difference? Now, and then he said, how is the former a student but not the latter, especially when college players are paid more than pros? Well, here's the thing, though. I'm like, it's really simple. I responded to it, to what he said, and said, okay, one is a former student who walked away from it. The other has never been a student in college. Those right there are two qualifying differences on site. It's cut and dry. He followed up with and said, yeah, but the point is they are both pros. Okay. He's saying one is a pro in Europe, never been to college yet. One is a pro in the G League, has already been to college, but they're both pros. That's his point. They're both pro. Okay, that's fine. Again, I responded this way. Okay, certainly. And the pros versus no pros in college ball, we need to keep having that discussion, I guess. But it seems to me that the lesser distinction of, here's a kid who signed or walked away from his college career according to the existing rules, which he and they knew, and playing pro ball, it's still a heck of a distinction between the other. And saying, here's one who went to college and went, I'm out, see ya, versus one who's never been in the first place. It's a distinction that you can't ignore. So that was one thing from a really smart person that I thought, you're not, how can you be thinking of it in those terms? Let me give you another example. Lawyer Darren Heitner, Miami, Florida, representing Charles Bediako. He responded this way. Deeply disappointed in the Tuscaloosa court's denial of Charles Bediako's request for an injunction against the NCAA. This ruling, now listen to this here, this ruling ignores that an athlete's NIL value is directly tied to his ability to play. Wait a minute. Did you hear what he just typed? This lawyer, in plain English, black and white letters, typed it out and said, this ruling ignores that an athlete's NIL, name, image, and likeness value is directly tied to his ability to play. He said that it overlooks that NCAA rules do not distinguish between athletes with prior college experience and those without. Well, I got news for you. Yeah, it does. He said, in contrast with eligibility grants to many other former pros, we fight on for fairness. Here's the thing about it. Here's a fact that we all have to accept. There is not one single other player in all of college sports who is a former pro who actually at one time was already a college student. Charles Bediako was one of one in that regard. Yet, this lawyer, Oates, the coach at Alabama, they wouldn't say that if you had a gun to their head. They are terribly afraid of that fact, which is a true fact. They are terrified of the truth. And the truth being, you can't find another college athlete anywhere who is a former pro, like in basketball or something, who is also a former college student at one time and walked away from it. Bediako was the only one. They won't admit it, won't even say it out loud. Tells you all you need to know. An unnamed texter said, with the ruling against Alabama's program, shouldn't they have to forfeit the games that he did play in? No question about it. And it will affect them. The problem is the other schools' losses will affect them too. See, that's the whole thing about letting it play out and going, well, you can forfeit it. Well, it's not like they're going to hand Auburn and Texas A&M wins. They still have losses. Even if Alabama has to forfeit the wins. Does that make sense? J-Rock texted and said the Alabama case is totally different from the Ole Miss case. Chambliss will play this year for Ole Miss, possibly giving them the best quarterback in the conference and the best running back in the conference. Resdog texted in. He said, you should probably just have Neil go ahead and switch to baseball. Nobody's listening to basketball anymore this season. Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. You know, those contracts, and it's the way it is. Man, I tell you what, Neil is so good at calling basketball, too. If you haven't listened to it, you got to check it out. Do yourself a favor. All right. Rolling along in hour one. Man, it's flying by. Back after this.
This is Jake Mangum, former
Master G's messages. We'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well. Look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender. Hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games.
And we're back in the Bureau. Beaver, may I ask your opinion on this? Because this is a topic that I have not yet publicly asked your opinion on. Professional basketball players playing college basketball. Just in general, what are your thoughts?
Stupid. It's been stupid since the beginning. I can't believe it even was a thing, however brief. What 5 games?
Yeah.
That's too much. It's just ridiculous. Like, when you think about it, it seems like common sense.
Right.
No. Hey, this player has already been in the G League, associated with the NBA. Okay, yeah, well, technically he didn't get drafted and all that. But anyway, no.
Yeah.
At its core, the whole thing has just been really, really dumb for me.
What about these European pros? And they do a professional thing straight out of high school and never go to college. They're 19 years old playing on some, pro team in Israel or, in France or something, and then they come to America and go to college for the first time and they're on a college basketball team.
I don't care for that.
See, I don't
quite honestly either, because okay, how long are we talking? Are you 20? Are you 26, 27 years old?
Yeah.
Coming back, so you're that much further developed than a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't like that either.
See, that was my thought. Okay, probably should have a broader conversation about the practice of even international kids who, they get out of high school, they've never been to college, in America. But they did play for a little money on some pro team over there, and now they're coming in here and they're a freshman. You probably should have that conversation. But one thing that, to me, is a non-starter is kid in America comes out of high school, signs a scholarship, goes to college, is a college student and athlete on the basketball team, walks away from it, puts his name in the draft, stays in, walks away from his college career, signs a pro contract. See what I mean? Moves out of Tuscaloosa. Pro contract. 3 years of it, Beef. 3 years of pro contracts. Then comes back to the team in Alabama. That's a non-starter. And it's asinine to compare that to the other cases. It's not like the other cases, like you and I just did. Well, we can have a conversation about those others and whether those ought to happen. But this one, ain't no way it ought to happen. Right? And I think I kind of I knew you'd be in there. Can't be doing that. Philip on Facebook commented, here is 2 examples. Chris Winkie, Florida State, didn't go to college, went and played baseball. Decided he wanted to go back to school. I said, well, you can't play baseball. He played quarterback. Yeah, Josh Booty for LSU, didn't go to school, went the baseball route, wanted to go back to school. He had to give back his signing bonus. The baseball team couldn't play baseball with LSU, played quarterback. I know, but that's different sports. And what you're talking about, that has happened. You had high-profile cases. You named a couple of them. This is going pro in one sport and realizing in your 20s, no, either I've messed up or this ain't happening. And now you go back to college and play another sport. Both cases, the minor league, what they do is the minor league organization actually pays for you to go back to school. So like when Chris Winkie went back to Florida State, I mean, he's not really technically on the same kind of scholarship as the other scholarship football players because his minor league baseball or pro baseball organization is footing the bill for his college education. That's part of his deal when he signed a minor league contract. So this is a case where guys are leaving baseball, minor league baseball, to go, play football. Different sports, a different thing. Those cases would have been like the Bediako case had Chris Winkie walked away from minor league baseball and gone back to Florida State to play baseball. Can't do that. Jake from Yazoo texted the show. He said, I walked on at Ole Miss. A few days later, they told me to walk off. Can I go back to high school in my 40s? Not as good as I once was, but as good once as I ever was. Unnamed texter says, if you're saying European players cannot do it, then Mississippi State loses a player from Serbia. Well, what I'm saying is I don't like it. I get it. He wouldn't be the first. It's like you go, maybe you need to, well, not even arguing that maybe you need to do away with it. I'm just saying if they want to keep having a conversation about whether or not any pro ought to be able to go to school and be on the team, I think it's fine. Keep having that conversation. What you run into is people challenging your amateurism rules in court, which those things have fallen flat in trying to defend themselves in court in recent years from the NCAA perspective. And this is why some of that's happening. But what I'm saying is a kid from Serbia or anywhere else who has never been to a university in the States, has never been on a college campus anywhere, gets out of high school, they play on some club team and make a little money, or an actual pro team, make a little money. And within a year or two, they pop up on a college team. It's the first time they've ever gone to college as a student. And they're on the team. That is a different dynamic than what we have talked about with Bediako. It's totally different. That's one where he was already there and quit. He quit college to go pro. Did go pro. 3 years of pro checks and contracts. Now coming back. It's a non-starter. Should have been from the get-go. And anybody, including their coach or his lawyer or anybody else who tries to equate it to some kid from Serbia or, some kid like some of these other cases who've never been to college before, it's fine to say you got an issue with those things. It ain't fine to say that that's the same as what Bediako did. Not the same thing. Not even close. Somebody joked they wanted to know if that new circuit judge was an Auburn fan. Possible. Bulldog, Mississippi said the whole thing was risky business for Bama. Now what happens is they get sued, probation, fines, forfeitures. I mean, like I said, they're going to have to forfeit the games he was in, I bet, when it's all said and done. But it's like a who cares, because the teams that got beat by him are still going to have the L. Lewis said, Matt, you've been saying the truth on NIL as we know it, and this lawyer went to school to figure it out. Well, that's like, here's a lawyer. It's, and by the definition of what they've always wanted us to believe NIL was, by their definition of it, then it's an oxymoron what he wrote. Well, this decision does not take into account the fact that this young man's NIL value is directly tied to his ability to play. Really? Interesting. Because the way I understand it, if you have NIL value, you've already built that up. You've already done it, whether you play another down or not. Right? Think about what NIL value is. Name, image, and likeness. What name? My name. Why does it have value? Because of what I've already done. Your name and your image and your likeness, Beaver, don't have value because of your potential. They have value because of what you've already done. Oh, that's deep. That is a deep thought by Matt Handy at the end of hour number 1. Hour 2 coming up in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau of what did I say? Farm Bureau of Mississippi. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. There. Back after this.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C-Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you turn your backyard into your personal movie theater.
Start movie night.
Own your day on the network for connected living. There's more to see. C-Spire. Customer inspired.
Briarwood Wine and Spirits.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, Convenience Redefined, and Prince Oil Company.
Quiet with all the good stuff you need to know. Right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau insurance agents. I'm Matt. Beaver is here, rolling along with you here on a Tuesday. Coming up, we will have a recap of our headlines in the sports world today. A couple from the NFL, a couple from the college realm, hoops, Diamond Dogs, and more, and more. So get on in here. Your comments are welcome, and there's lots of ways for you to be a part of the show. You can comment on the live stream. It is live. It is live. If you're on Facebook or X or YouTube, you type in a comment, I'll be able to see it right there. And we can pop it up on the screen. Regarding the Alabama stuff, here's an example. Bulldog Mississippi said, was it worth it for 5 games? And then he said he called it silly. Sven asked me this on YouTube. He said, Matt, value what you have done? He said, you tell me. Arch, the Golden Goose Manning is worth $8.75 million. What has he done? He had a team full of blue chip players and missed the playoffs. Well, it's, you got a pretty decent point there, but I would say that if we're being honest, the $8.75 million is because of his name, Manning. And his name is because of what the Mannings have done. By the way, Beaver, speaking of that, I drove on Manning Boulevard last night through Drew, Mississippi, the hometown of Archie Manning. And as long as I've lived in Mississippi, that is the first time I've ever been in Drew, Mississippi. It was last night. Might I tell you what I noticed on my drive to Drew? Yesterday, February the 9th, right? Yes. Yesterday, February the 9th. We had a high temperature yesterday in North Mississippi up there, like in Tupelo and Oxford and Batesville and parts of the Delta west of there. The high temps was like 70 degrees. Beaver, there is still ice sitting around. Ice with snow on it, sitting around on places. I couldn't believe it. Yesterday, last night, first I saw it as I was getting closer and closer to where Highway 6 runs into, what is that highway that goes then north and south through Marks? Anyway, as I was getting closer and closer to Marks, Mississippi, I'm just buzzing along on the highway there, going 60, 65. And off on the edges of some of these fields, okay, that are shielded, they're like the field is right up against a row of trees, hardwoods, whatever. And so that edge of that field is kind of elevated and sort of shielded from any south sun. So it only gets north wind. It doesn't actually see the sun. It's shaded the whole day. Those edges of those fields still have ice and snow lining the edge of them. Yesterday afternoon, Beaver, it was crazy. Okay, that road marks is Highway 3. That's what I was thinking. 3. That goes all the way to Highway 3. It goes all the way south to Yazoo City. It goes all the way basically to Vicksburg. You get on it there in Marks. When I turned left onto 3 and I'm making my way through downtown Marks, basically, Mississippi in the Delta. It's over in the Delta, west of Batesville. I had seen that. And then I'm on the phone with Annabeth, and I'm like, hey, there are these huge piles of snow still just piled. You know what I'm talking about? Like after you've seen a snowstorm, and they piled up these huge balls of snow, like on the street corners where they've shoveled them off the road and stuff. Yesterday afternoon, they're still sitting there in Marks. Not only that, after I saw that, there was like in part of downtown marks a sidewalk. You know how you have parallel parking or the angled parking, paved sidewalk next to storefronts with an awning over it. And it just happened to be that those sidewalks right on, on the edge of like going into somebody's business, it just happens to be, shielded by the business from the south sun and the awning over the top. So it sees no sun throughout the day. Beaver covered in a layer of ice and still white stuff. You could ice skate on it yesterday afternoon, February the 9th. And on my dash, it said like 69 degrees. I knew we'd gotten up close to 70. I could not believe it that there was that still much, ice in places in the Delta. I just couldn't believe it. Anyway, happy to report I was on Manning Boulevard. First time I've ever been there. Saw it with my own eyes. I talked about it being the name. Sven said exactly, but Arch has done not a 0-0. Archie, Eli, and the sheriff deserve every single dollar they've ever earned, but not the young blood. Well, I don't know. Sven may have a point. No, Sven. He just might have a point. White Denzel texted the show. He said, Matt, story time. I was having dinner at the Rustler, which is a steakhouse in Meridian, on Sunday night. As I'm eating, I see someone that looks like Chipper Jones. Turns out it was Chipper. He was in town to watch his son, who's an assistant baseball coach at Meridian Community College. Wow. Now that is cool, Denzel. I didn't know. I did not know that Chipper Jones had a son who's an assistant baseball coach at Meridian. But that is cool. We ran into Chipper Jones at the Rustler. Beaver, you ever been to the Rustler in Meridian? Now that's a good name for a steakhouse. The Rustler. What kind of restaurant would the Wrestler be? What would that be? What would we serve at the Wrestler? Hey, did I see right over here on in Flowood on Lakeland, there's a new business about to open up called the Country Squire? Have you seen it, Beef?
No, I haven't, but that's...
All right, I'm looking it up right now. I know it's what it said. And here we are giving them some, but it's a tobacco place, B. See, this is, but I could have sworn that back in the day, there was an old back in the day, like chain of steakhouses, like steak and potato type places called the Country Squire. I thought there was. So that's what drew my attention when I saw that. And then turns out, yeah, it's for cigars and tobacco and pipes and stuff.
Whatever. I thought you were telling me it's going to be a restaurant. That's a hilarious restaurant name.
Isn't it?
But for a snooty-ass cigar store, get out of here. The Country Squire.
Okay. The Country Squire Restaurant, Warsaw, North Carolina. Country Squire Restaurant, Inn and Winery, North Carolina. So there's one in North Carolina. I guess maybe that's the one I'd heard, but I'd always thought that there was a chain of those things. I think there was. And it had an inn also. Anyway, yeah, it's a good name. Okay, so tip of the cap there. Bulldog Blitz texted the show, said Chipper's son that coaches at Meridian is the one he had with the Hooters waitress while still married to his first wife. Well, I'm glad that there's a positive ending in all that. That's great. You know, take a bad situation, do the best you can, make it into a good one. Grumpy texted the show. He said, cigar store, Matt, new location. It's been down the street for years. See, I didn't know that. I did not know that. You know why I saw it, though, Beef? It's going to be next door to DeVille Camera, the DeVille Camera store. It's been around forever, you know, and they moved out. They were in that DeVille Plaza area, which is closer to here, and right off the highway there. And they moved over there to Lakeland. But, I'm in the camera and photo and video world with a lot of what I do. And I really think I'm giving them a free plug. I realize this, but it's really cool though, what they've done with that business, and they still have it going, and it's a neat thing. It's kind of like the difference between digital photography versus film photography. The film stuff, you got to actually handle it. You got to develop it. It's tactile. You get done, you're actually holding the negatives, and that's kind of the experience of going to a store now for stuff, as opposed to just clicking around on Amazon and buying stuff and it shows up to your house. But yeah, anyway, that's where I saw that. All right. Rolling along, hour 2, just getting started. Back after this.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mississippi State Bulldog. I can tell you firsthand how great new things can be. That's why the new auto and life insurance discount from Farm Bureau is so great. It's a new thing from the company that's been setting roots in Mississippi for over 75 years. Visit favrates.com for great rates on home and auto insurance. Or find a local agent at msfbins.com. Farm Bureau.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more.
59 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Joe Mailman texted in. He said, keep encouraging everyone to go to the store. I'm tired of delivering Amazon. Yeah. We all need to resolve, Beaver, to go the tangible, tactile route on things when we can. That means work with our hands, use our hands, actual physical things we deal with when we can. Beav, have you gone down, on that note, the route of back to vinyl records, playing music on vinyl records, record players?
No, I remember back in 2018, because I kept being told, "Oh, records, it's the way that things were meant to be listened to, and the sound is so much richer and wonderful." And so I broke down. I said, I want to try it out. Now, granted, I didn't get a fancy high dollar record player, so I got one, and I didn't notice anything but more of a hassle to make sure you place the needle in a specific place. Because if you don't put it here, it's going to play this song and whatever. You know what? When I can pay $11.76 to Apple Music, which I hate, by the way. It's so handy, but I hate it. Yeah. When I can pay it and have everything at my fingertips, I'm okay with that method of music.
Hey, tell the truth, though. How tempted were you to go up there and go, we can, scratch it like a DJ? How tempted were you to do that on your record player?
I really wasn't, Matt Wyatt.
I figured you would have done it at least one time. I would if I had one. I'm going to do it, Beef. I'm doing it. I'm going back to records. I'm going to get a record player.
Why'd you decide this?
Tactile. I can touch it and put my hands on it.
Oh.
It's just I got something physical. I do think that the shooting film in the photography business, well, some of it business and some of it, the creative stuff too, but shooting the actual film, developing it, having negatives, that sort of got me to thinking about it because, at first with the actual film photography stuff versus digital, at first it was a hassle for me, and I was willing to go through the hassle for the look that you get, which I don't care what anybody says, you cannot make digital actually emulate real film. It's just a cheap imitation of film. It's just what it is. And it's not with the hassle. But then after that, I got to where I like the physical process of handling something. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Hey, let me get you some headlines here. Recapping headlines from hour number one. Headlines in the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Headline number one, San Francisco 49ers defensive lineman Keion White shot in the ankle at 4 a.m. yesterday morning in San Francisco. Surgery not going to be career-threatening. They will give you updates when pertinent, but he's going to be okay. But yes, shot in the ankle. Headline number two, Falcons rookie James Pierce Jr. crashed his vehicle into one being driven by WNBA player Rickea Jackson multiple times and struck a police officer with the vehicle while evading arrest. That's according to the criminal complaint obtained by the media. from the Miami-Dade County State Attorney's Office. Arrested in South Florida. 5 felony charges, including aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated stalking, and aggravated battery of law enforcement officer. He's in big trouble. Headline number 3 in the college world. Charles Bediaco's college basketball career is over again after an Alabama circuit judge denied his motion for a preliminary injunction yesterday. And then finally this. Mississippi State Baseball put out their starting pitching rotation for the season opening series this weekend against Hofstra. Your Friday night ace is going to be Ryan McPherson, the righty. And then Saturday, Sunday, games 2 and 3 will be lefties. Charlie Foster on Saturday and Tomas Valencias on Sunday, both lefties. And those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. All right, over to the phone, the Junction phone line. Junction delis all across the state, fueled by Prince Oil Company. On line 1, it is Rooster. What's up, Rooster?
Hey, yeah, sorry to intrude.
You're
but
right.
I'm listening kind of half-heartedly. Matt, are those Long Island Lions any good?
Okay, Long Island, what, Lions?
Yeah, that's Hofstra. They're called the Pride.
Okay.
They're based in West Hempstead, Long Island, where I used to live.
Okay.
So I'm
Well,
looking
I
forward to
don't
it.
I don't know what they're going to be this year, Rooster, but they were terrible last year.
Yeah. So let's hope they're better, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Can we hear that game on the radio?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I know that there's going to be radio broadcasts of baseball, and I just don't know like what the coverage is network wide around the state. I just don't know that. I can't tell you.
Well, I don't want to be negative, but that's the only salvation. It looks like football and basketball we can discount.
Well, but look,
Girls
you're not the only
basketball,
one.
too.
You're not the only one. I've had 2 different people already today say, they ought to just put the baseball on there because nobody's listening to the basketball. I mean, you're not the only
No,
one
we
who
can't
said
do
it.
that. We can't do that. They got to hang in. But yeah, maybe they can pull even with Ole Miss Saturday. I mean, that would be par for the course. But since Ole Miss won it at Starkville, maybe we can win up there. So
There
that
you
would be a little salvation, But
Right.
I look for March Dash, probably 9-10 SEC teams again. But I don't think State and Ole Miss are going to be one of them. I don't think so.
Nah,
Unless
State's
they win the tournament, which
Right.
are the odds on that,
right.
But
right.
listen, we're anxiously awaiting the debut of Brian O'Connor. That's going to be fantastic this year. It sure is.
Yep.
So, and I know you agree. I know the baseball fans are excited because that's one thing for certain: finest baseball facility in America.
Yeah,
in
it really is. Yeah.
Oktibbeha County.
I
no
know
question.
it. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and you can get what's that called? I still hadn't had it. Ripple. What is it?
Muscadine Ripple ice cream.
Muscadine Ripple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for somebody's got to have it. Every time I ask, no, we sold out. But anyway, I apologize for intruding on
No,
today,
you're
but,
not intruding. Call us anytime, Rooster. Good to hear your voice. Thank you.
Yeah, I wish I had something profound to offer, but I don't.
Yeah, that's all right. Neither do I.
Waiting on Friday in baseball. That's it.
That's it. Thank you.
Friday the 13th. That's all right. Doesn't matter what day it is. Thanks, Matt. Y'all
Yeah.
have a great day.
You too. Have a good one. God bless you. That's Rooster. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Friday the 13th, season opener. In the voice of Mel Allen, This Week in Baseball. How about that? Hofstra, I mentioned this yesterday. They were good and terrible last year. I think they won 18 games total. 18 and 36 last year. They were 8-19 in their conference, Coastal Conference. It looks like they had one series win all year long. Nope, they had 2. They early on they swept Iona last year, and then late in the year they swept Towson. But yeah, they struggled mightily. And who knows? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you look at last year. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. I don't know how many of their team from a year ago is still on the team. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
The music will hit
Okay.
now.
Yeah, so here's what we'll do. Short break. A word from our sponsors. And then we'll come back to the phones when we come back. In the Bureau. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire. Customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s, pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance.
All right. Back with you in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. I'm Matt Beavers here. We're rolling along. You can text or comment or call. And that's where we go now, to the phone. The Junction phone line, Junction delis across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. It's like you pull up to the pump, fuel in your tank, and then go inside and get a little fuel in your belly from the Junction Deli. On line 1, patiently waiting through the break, Louisville George. What's up, George? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Got three subjects. It'll be quick. Pierce, the Atlanta Falcons dude should be just throw him out of the league and let's just move on.
Okay.
Secondly, basketball, college basketball. The state and Ole Miss have the worst fans of any school in the nation when it comes to basketball. I've got more friends that, just like you all been saying, let's go straight to baseball. Yeah. They won't go. Kentucky could be number 1 in the country, and they won't. No, man, it's Tuesday night. But we'll go up there in February. When it's sleeting and hailing, and watch baseball, which is miserable as everything when it's like that. But Rooster, yeah, they'll get 8 or 9 teams. When you got 40 teams in the conference, hopefully you'll get 8 or 9. Lastly, which is why I really called, vinyl.
All right.
Man, back in college, vinyl. Beaver, you told a lot about yourself and about the generation. I used to do, and I know other people did it, but I used to do mixtapes on cassette and sell them. I got red hair. It was called a real redhead production. And you talking about time-consuming, because, man, I don't know if you've done it, a 90-minute cassette, and you're just, okay, da-da-da-da, then you've got a minute to go or whatever. And for anybody that wants to do that, the Kinks' first live album, for about a minute and plus, they just do Lola over and over before they go into the song. So I would always, at the very end, I would just do that until I run out of time. But man, it's pain. I mean, you got to consider 90 minutes, average song, 3 minutes and something.
Yeah. Right.
But it was fun. That was back in the day. But look, I love the show, and people get into college basketball. Man, I watched my Louisville Cardinals last night. Mikel dropped 45, and if that wasn't exciting, come on. It
George,
is exciting.
George, let me say this too. So I guess not, directly addressing it, but just kind of hitting around the topic. You're a Louisville fan, right?
Yep.
I remember several years ago, am I right? It was maybe in the NIT or something, but State was playing Louisville in the postseason, I think it was.
Yes.
And what I noted watching that game was it was so obvious, because I had been watching SEC games on television all year, and it jumped off the TV screen how Louisville fans actively tried to affect the momentum of the game. It was like a part of their routine, and it was so cool because there would be time they didn't wait and respond to what was happening on the court. The whole fan base would sense, okay, State just went on a 4-0 run, and the Louisville fan base would get on their feet to lift the team up proactively. It was really cool to watch.
Well, good deal. They do you know how you increase the value of a house in Kentucky?
How's that?
You have 2 basketball goals instead of 1. One last note on basketball. This is Mississippi State. When I first moved to this state, it was back 86, and met Jim Ellis. He was selling for is it WSSO? Is that right? Or
Well, I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I met him. Me and him hooked up. I had season tickets to everything for state, and that was when I met Richard and is it Carol or Diane? What's his wife's name?
I believe it's Carol, isn't it? I think.
But this has been a minute. I met
Yeah.
both of them. So down to earth and cool, just cool people. But that was when, man, everybody came. When you had Shaq and what was his name, Stanley Williams, and you had Chris Jackson, and every time they came to the hump, didn't matter what they were ranked or anything, state beat them. You look it up, they beat them 3 straight years.
Mm-hmm.
It was just such good stuff, and I love Richard. I love hearing him as a color commentary when I listen to the game.
Yeah.
Because I'm a basketball fan. I love if there's a game on, I'm in the car. I'm listening to somebody.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
that's cool.
I'm a sports fan. Hey, this went longer than it should.
That's all right.
Love the show, man.
Thank you.
You guys have a great afternoon.
You too,
Thank
George. Thank you. Call me anytime. You know, I am absolutely sympathetic to it, George. And, you know, it's too long ago for me to remember, but my dad, who, you know, born and raised in Alabama, just after I was born, he moved us to Louisville, Kentucky. That's actually where my sister was born, was in Louisville, because my dad went to the seminary there. He was going into the ministry, and so he went to the seminary school there, and we lived in Seminary Village. And, I mean, I have vague memories of being that little in the place where we lived and the snow and stuff that we would get, but nothing else. But he will tell you stories about, you know, enjoying the basketball atmosphere that was just in and around there. And he thought a lot of Denny Crum and all of that. And he got his fill of Kentucky basketball fans just living in Louisville. He'd had enough of it. He always, all these years later. But, you know, it's a different atmosphere because of the love for that sport. And what I would say is I'm sympathetic to what you're saying. Yes, it's different in Mississippi, but it's almost like in some cases and at times it's unfortunate for basketball. But when you flip the coin over, George, the way the state of Kentucky is regarding the sport of basketball, and I realize coast to coast it's a more popular sport, that's the way people in Mississippi are about college baseball. And I don't know what you chalk it up to and how you explain all that. It's just it is what it is. So the way I look at it, George, is I wouldn't fault people born and raised in Kentucky for their passion about just the sport of basketball, the season of basketball season. I wouldn't fault them one bit for it. And by the same token, I don't fault people in Mississippi for their passion for the sport of college baseball and for their year-round looking forward to baseball season. I don't fault them for it, and it's just kind of the way it is. And it's okay. It's certainly okay. And what if I were to say this too? Significant modern championships. What do we have? Well, it's obvious. It's baseball. I mean, for Pete's sake, State won the national championship 5 years ago. Ole Miss won it the next year, 4 years ago. The national championship in that sport. George, the truth is, if that had been 5 years ago, a national championship in basketball for one school, and then the other school won it the next year, the national championship in basketball, we'd be having a different conversation. So it's like, what I think is this. That old saying, that old axiom of success follows passion, it's always applied to an individual. You know, whatever he's passionate about, that's what he's ultimately going to be successful in because he's passionate about it. Okay, well, it's an example of that being true. It's true. The success in the sport of college basketball in the state of Kentucky follows the passion of the people for that sport. Their success follows their passion. By the same token, here in the state of Mississippi, the success in college baseball follows the people's passion for it. And there's lots of things that have fed it. But, yeah. So, and I've been through it in basketball too. Like I've told you, I was a student there when State went to the Final Four, and that year and the years to follow for a decade after that, it seemed like it was 8,000, 9,000 at every home game on a Tuesday night stuff. We had a run there where it was like that, but it's still that, in the last 20 years, the passion for baseball has surpassed really all else at State and really throughout the state of Mississippi. When you look per capita at supporting college baseball, State, Ole Miss, Southern Miss, nobody supports college baseball like the people in Mississippi do, period. All right, a little bit of time left when we come back. Stick around.